It's about that time. Assemble and talk. No cap. It's a civil war. You thinking you worthy. You feeling like door. Smash that like button like Hulk, yeah. Did y'all hear about the new Marvel game, Midnight Suns? I brought it up to y'all off camera. But did y'all hear about it?
I just heard about it now. I
didn't hear about it before I brought it up to y'all?
No, I didn't hear it.
You neither? Oh, you heard it?
No, I heard it. I mean, listen.
You seen it on, like, trending?
So long story short, I collect comic books heavy. Like deep, heavy. Like, I follow, like, all the shit. Listen, I follow vintage comic books, all these comic books. So, the comic book community, they were buying the Midnight Suns comics from the dollar bins because the first appearance of the Midnight Suns, because apparently there was a leak. I know you love leaks.
It might be real.
And then they were like,
I love leaks too.
Oh, there was gonna be a Midnight Suns show, and then niggas was really buying the Midnight Suns comic.
So in the comic world, sorry to cut you off, but I remember because you said that last week, with the whole which issue was it that people started to buy again? The Punisher one, right? Because
because you say you don't fuck with cops.
It was something that you mentioned something that you was like, and because of this, people started to buy the it probably wasn't Punisher, but you mentioned somebody you was like, and they started to buy that issue OD.
Yeah.
But is that a thing? Is that a thing? All right, so
that's a thing. So, because people try and be ahead of the curve. Sometimes people buy it for $1 and then resell it for $40. Like, sometimes this is their life at one point.
It don't sound worth it though, right? To sell, if something's valuable, like a comic book. What am I gonna do with $40? I'd rather have bought it for this $1 and kept it then.
But think of it,
right?
Like,
you know what I mean? Like, if I'm not gonna sell it for something ridiculously, why resell it?
But think of it like stocks.
Yeah.
Think of it like stocks.
Exactly.
Like, you get a comic, like, for example, Midnight Suns, and this is how it's all gonna come into full circle. Midnight Suns is a dollar bin comic. It was printed by the hundreds of thousands because in the 90s the market was different like it was now. Like, a comic book would they would print like 500,000 copies, 300,000 copies, and they would sell a lot because at that time the industry for comics was booming. Even though at that time during the 90s it was crashing, but they were printing a lot.
Oh, right.
So there's a lot of this comic that's out and people are buying them. And sometimes comics, a movie gets announced, everybody buys the first appearance.
That makes sense.
And then they get one trailer, and then all the news would be dead for like 6 months to a year. So the value will start to dip. Then people will buy the comic at the dip. And then more news comes out, it bumps back up, it bumps back down.
So it's like stocks for real.
Yeah, it's literally like stocks.
So
everybody's thinking like, like Midnight Suns is going to be a Hulu show, yada, 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 this, that, and the third. So people are buying it up, speculating. Like, now they're like, is now they're buying the first appearances of the people in the Midnight Suns. Like, they're looking for the
So basically, with your logic, your best bet when buying comics is to get it while
it's
hot. Yeah,
get it while it dips.
Get it while it either dips,
or if you can get it while it's hot as a good price.
Yeah. Or you could just project, or you could just like know in advance.
Because after a while you start getting so much of knowledge of it, you'll be like, you know what? I got a feeling if they release the WandaVision shit, they're gonna do this. Most likely gonna release the story next. You know what I mean? Just whatever.
So my question to you is this: is there any like certain comics or like certain like anything that's like solidified, like golden branches that you're never gonna find for cheap? Like, that's it. They're worth.
Oh yeah,
they're worth what they worth, and that's
Hulk
it.
181, the first appearance of Wolverine.
That's one.
That would never go down.
Yeah, like I would say a lot of issue ones, like the Amazing Spider-Man shit.
Yeah,
like
Amazing
that.
Fantasy.
I would
Death
think
of
any big
Death of
stories.
Superman, that's not worth anything because that was printed by like the millions. Like they sold 2 million.
It's funny because
copies.
I had a copy of that mint and it's like never been like open and all that, and I was hyped. But then I looked it up and I'm like,
no, it's not.
Wow.
But see,
First issue was Spawn.
For the same reason you said, that's why I asked you the question I asked a little while ago. Because if it dips and goes up and down, you know what? It didn't cost me nothing to get this, and I'm not gonna get nothing if I sell it. If I sell it right now, I'm gonna get the most
40, 50.
Yeah, so I'd rather keep it on some stock shit just in case it ever goes crazy.
Sometimes people buy 2 copies.
That's smart. Jordan does that. Jordan tells me he does that. That's good.
I mean, just in case you want to sell one.
But this is how.
I know. I knew that's what you were saying.
So people buying this shit up, going crazy for it.
Like,
and then I don't hear nothing about it for like a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Then I wake up one morning and it says Midnight Sun video game trailer, and then
And
I was like, yo, they wow.
and that's why I like leaks, because that leak that you came out could have been wrong 6 whatever months ago when the people started buying that comic.
But it's still not worth anything because it's not.
No,
a
but
show.
I know. But what I'm trying to say is leaks purposely. Like why I like leaks. See how that could have been wrong, but that ended up becoming right.
Oh,
They end up 6 months down the line, I know it coming out with the game, and after hearing no news about it for so long.
We like leaks for different.
I love. Yeah, I was gonna say I love
we
leaks.
It was right. but
We
it was
like
wrong.
leaks for. I mean, leaks
I'm
for
gonna play
different
the.
reasons.
I'm gonna play the trailer of it, and they got a new video game, Marvel coming out. Yo, Doc.
This was just.
Doc. Yeah, this is it's an RPG though, so like RPG is like the fantasy games, like you gotta wait to attack and another person attacks, and
Turn
then,
based.
yeah.
I feel like anybody who plays Pokemon games should have no problem with that.
Yeah, that's what you think, but this is not Pokemon, so I mean I don't.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were one of those Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm a huge Pokemon.
That shit
fan.
is like shit is like religion to y'all.
Of course, it's a religion to me.
What, Pokeball?
Hell's yeah.
Shorty called a Pokeball in the room yesterday, right?
Exactly.
No, I was feeding my Charizard.
Oh, I.
I just.
Nah, this looks dope right
Like,
here,
Captain
but this is
Marvel's
not the
having the Midnight
gameplay.
Suns.
So
Oh no, yeah, the story in between and all that shit is always fire.
I watch the cutscenes when somebody puts it together.
Ghost
Yeah, I love
Rider.
it when they do it on YouTube. I ain't gonna
Well, I
lie.
said
This
Thanos
is- but
versus
this is,
Dane.
Robbie Reyes or whatever the hell his name is. So this is not even the Ghost Rider. This is not Danny Catch. You know,
He looks better though.
nobody's better than Danny Catch
You have a leather fetish?
or Johnny Blaze.
Who is this right here?
I don't know who that is.
Nah, I thought I was gonna say Cyclops, but she got a staff, so
Psylocke. You know?
Psylocke, yeah.
Hey, none of these
It could be
guys are in
Psylocke.
the Midnight Suns.
She has a staff.
I don't know. You're right. You're supposed to be straight. You're
They're
right.
supposed to be straight, like
Energy out her.
Yeah, it's like the Illuminati team in a way.
no.
But no, they're not the same motivations.
Cthulhu.
Supposed to be.
That was
But
my
it's
Cthulhu.
the way they assembled them is the same type of motive.
Oh,
Blade. I
Blade.
think Blade is
Blade,
the
Captain
Midnight Suns.
Marvel.
It's supposed to be all the
Wolverine.
sorcery people. Like this is supposed
Nah,
to
look,
be the
Wolverine
Justice League
there.
Dark.
All right, that makes more sense then.
Yeah.
A dark, like
See,
Dark Avengers,
Magic, that makes sense.
Dark Marvel, not even Dark Avengers, Dark Marvel.
Yeah, like Dark
Iron
Marvel,
Man.
like-
You know he wouldn't get his hands
Iron
dirty.
Man
I don't know why Cap is here though, cause Cap. Oh, that's
I don't know who this is.
That looked like Maleficent, right?
Maleficent.
Maleficent. I said Maleficent.
Maleficent.
Excuse me.
Oh, who's that? You know I'm a sucker for anybody with swords.
My son, Nano boy.
But
Huh?
Nano boy, not for my comic book.
Why?
It's
Why
not two swords like that.
Here? Blade
My
makes
son's a
sense.
ninja.
Iron Man.
Iron
Like,
Man, my
what's
son
going
Cap with the updated shield. And it looked like his shit is fused with Doc.
You saw
Doctor
Blade and
Strange.
armor and shit. Like that shit didn't even look right.
on? Blade and armor, like
Nonetheless,
2K, which I know is gonna be garbage.
2K been doing bad over the last few
I know
years.
is gonna be garbage.
as a company. But all right, which I thought was just that little clip y'all seen there.
I think the Midnight Suns could be a good game. You know, if they
If
they
it
got,
wasn't an RPG,
well, one, if it wasn't an RPG,
it would
and
like to.
and they focused it on like Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, Blade.
Moon Knight was in this right now.
I'm pretty sure.
Speaking
he-
of
no,
Moon
no, he
Knight, can I
wasn't.
say it real quick? Like
What?
I know this is gonna sound like, but like, can y'all like not try to copy Batman like that? Like,
Oh my god.
Alright, let's get into him after this one. Let's
My
get into
fault,
after.
yeah,
No,
I'm
we
sorry.
can get right back in because they about to come out with his show. So go ahead.
So
You were saying
I think it could be like a nice
like
you know how they did the Square Enix game.
yeah, the
I
Avengers.
think it
Marvel
could be.
Avengers.
I think it could be like a good Marvel Avengers or. I
But
think they could do
still
something
whack,
really dope,
right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and that's not
still
even
whack.
hitting. What I mean, whack like opinionated, of course, is whatever. But I mean, it's
That-
whack
no,
as far as
that's
what it
not
did.
an opinion,
Successful,
that's
yeah,
facts.
exactly. Successful wise, it was not
If
successful.
you like
at
it,
all,
your
like,
opinion is wrong.
more or less on shit like that. Like when
Like-
something's dead trash, it's everyone notices.
wow, I want to disagree with y'all, but then I
No,
can't.
you know what's funny?
It
Look,
is,
look,
like,
I'm gonna
it-
speak my truth on that game since we talking about this game, so it's like it's gonna coexist. I was so excited for that game, being that wow, they're doing Avengers, and I know it's inspired by the MCU. This is cool, but it's not the MCU characters. Cool, whatever. I got the game. I got the beta at first, the demo. It was cool. I was like, this could rock. All right, can't wait to see what more they add to this game. The game came out like 2 weeks later. I downloaded it off rip. I was one of the first, I would hope.
You
and
bought the
believe.
special edition.
No.
You bought
I'm
the
not even gonna lie.
season pass,
No, no,
special
no.
edition. He bought the season
No.
pass.
I bought the
right?
I swear.
I said
I'm
he
glad
needed,
I didn't.
like,
I'm
he
glad
needed
I
to
didn't.
start. I know him. He needed to start off with like 8 suits at least.
Yeah, right.
Nah.
Each character.
You know what's funny? Something like that, yes. But since I already played it, I didn't need to. You're the blunt. I didn't need to jump out the window that much. So long story short, I bought the regular version of it, and over it, I was hooked on it. Right? I was hooked on it. Right? I was boom, boom, boom. But I would notice it was getting me bored in quick
Fast.
spurts. So like I would put the game down and then come back to it 3-4 times a day, but 15-minute spurts only. Like
I would say if that game came out 10 years ago, like in 2012,
oh no, it would have been amazing.
Oh,
but
no, yeah, no.
you know what they messed up with the
We
game?
would have been like,
This is what my problem with the game,
It's
right?
tedious.
And I
It's-
played the game, I
shit
think,
gets
enough
tedious.
hours. Like, I probably played it over 100 hours to that. Like,
Jesus
because I kept
fucking
playing it
Christ.
throughout months. Like, I'll come back to
I
it, play it
beat it
straight.
one time and I was done.
But this is what I didn't like about it. Like I told him earlier, they was fighting nothing but bots, robots and shit. Literally, like that's you want a Spider-Man game was great because they had a lot of different criminals and humans, and also they had a lot of villains in it. And that's my second thing that was wrong with Avengers game. They didn't have. There was like one main villain at the end. You fight Abomination, like
there was
one scene, one
2
talk.
boss fights.
You
literally.
fight Taskmaster with Black Widow in the beginning. It's a quick little fight. It's nothing crazy. And then you fight the big boss at the end.
3 because I forgot about the Taskmaster.
Right? And it's not enough, bro. It's not enough. And then,
There's
and
so
then they got
many
2 modes.
characters.
They got 2 modes. This is where this is the deal breaker. They got 2 modes, online mode and regular mode, career mode, right? Story mode, and online, the missions are identical.
Yes.
It just depends if you can play with online 4 people or you're gonna play with 3 bots as a team, 4 of y'all. It's the same missions though, so nothing's changing. And so I always thought, look, if they ever see this video, if anybody knows somebody that make something, I don't know, push this fucking hashtag like I did the Snyder Cut. If they come out with the Civil War mode, I think the game will relaunch and be successful. Because if you let us, because their maps,
That's what I know.
every
That's
aspect of the game is fire, right?
No.
Like the characters are fire, the things they could do they fire, the way they fight is fire, the graphics look fire, everything's fire, the maps look fire. So if you just let us throw us in the maps, they let you assemble 4 people, you and then 3 other people you can choose out of the characters you earned. If they let you do that, and then I can play against you online, and you have your 3 or 4 people, or let's say Dot is even on your team because y'all friends. I can play my 4 against y'all 4 online in an open map, and we can just battle out until niggas die.
Well, you're.
That's like the Star Wars game was like that.
I heard.
It would be great, bro.
I
See,
heard,
I feel like
call it Civil War mode.
when I first played it, I felt like it's this whack because
Bro, I
they're
didn't
gonna
even play
they're gonna
it.
hit
I
us with the
looked at
good
it
parts
and I knew it
when
was
like
whack.
for DLC because I be
Next time you
feeling like
come,
that's
we'll bring the people over here, and we.
I,
let
no,
you
I
start.
don't need
I'll
to
play it in
play
front of you. No, I'll play it in front of you just so you can see it.
Listen,
Yeah,
I saw enough to know that it was trash. It looked like a game that would come out in 2009.
no, but that's what I was saying.
They really half-assed it. That's what's whack because they got all the perks of being a great game. It looks amazing. They fight amazing. They got great stuff you can do to the
Listen,
suits
when
and
you
shit.
when you play the Spider-Man game, and then you see that fucking.
That's what I was just about to say too. I feel like that's one thing that would have made the game 10 times better in itself if they would have just gave it a free roam factor.
Yes, it don't have no free
Alone.
roam factor.
There's no
Nah, he
free
don't-
roam
nah,
factor.
shoot. Yeah, there's no free roam factor, so you can. You know how you got a free roam? Ignore the mission and just fly around the city.
And even so, like when you get a certain far, like
You
they
feel
stop
limited.
you.
You feel so
Yeah.
limited. You bouncing barriers into the walls that's not there in the middle of the air.
And there's nothing else going on.
You
Besides
can't
the
fly
mission, you
higher
feel
than
me?
like 12 or 10 stories with Iron Man. It's dead ass frustrating. Like, but it looks so cool when he flies. Everything is cool. They got different boost and hitting different mocks, and he got different marks at that.
Come on, because let's
Yo,
be real.
it's crazy. They
Who
really bodied
hasn't
it, but it's,
turned on the game Spider-Man simply just to sling around.
it's like
and shit
whoever
like
was the
that.
storyline and
I feel like everybody's done that.
yeah. Look,
They
I played
just threw on
look,
Spider-Man and not even do missions.
I
Just
kept Spider-Man up until I had
around
to
the city,
delete
like
something recently because I still got hope that I'm hoping they added something to the Avengers game. So I didn't delete that one and I deleted Spider-Man because I already did everything I could do in Spider-Man for 2-3 years straight.
yes.
And it was a tough decision to do. I only didn't delete the Avengers because it was newer and I still know they dropping new content for it. And they just dropped the Black Panther shit. They had dropped the Hawkeye and the what's the young Hawkeye, the girl? Kate Bishop shit. They dropped DLCs. So I got hope for it. I'm hoping, but it's like at a point that they just like doing nothing with it. It's horrible. So to compare it to this game, if they make it like a game like that, it still will be a failure. But seeing this trailer and shit, it look cool. If you like RPGs, I don't like RPGs, so it's already I'm not gonna buy it. I'm probably not even gonna play it. But
But honestly though, like I was just thinking about it right now. Like, what Marvel game has ever really been that good besides Marvel vs. Capcom?
But I heard a lot of like reading online. A lot of people loved the Marvel Alliance game. I didn't like. I remember buying it. You probably came with me at that time. I remember I bought the game and was so upset.
Yeah, I remember you did.
Like
We
so
didn't
upset.
like
Remember
it.
it had like the green cover and shit, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like looking Sinister Six-ish.
Yo,
It wasn't.
what was the name of that Marvel game that we used to play? It was pretty dope. It was like a versus game where it was like
We all roaming around together.
no, not that one.
It was an X-Men game?
like a one-on-one fight where you could pick Iron Man and you could literally like pick up everything in the board and throw it at each other.
Oh,
and shit
Marvel
Like
Nemesis Rise of the Imperfect.
that. Remember that?
Yo, babe, you have to play this game.
I've played every
Marvel
single
Nemesis
Marvel game.
is the best Marvel game ever made.
yes,
Wow,
yes.
that was like a DC game, right? That
Yeah.
felt like a
It was
that felt like a
so
Mortal
fun.
Kombat game.
Every part of the board was
Oh,
interactive,
yeah.
and each character's strength was according to that character.
I thought it was
like
good
if you
when I was a
Wolverine,
kid.
you can't pick up a car, but you could.
Yo,
pick
I'm
up
gonna put a link.
You could
I'm
pick
gonna find
up
a
a
link.
trash can.
I'm gonna find a
If
link
you
and put it
Iron
below.
Man, you could pick up a bus and all that. Like
No, yeah, it was
you could
crazy.
just throw shit at each
I had
other,
it when it
catch
first
it.
came
And it was like the way the Naruto games was. You could move in that whole circle,
Yeah.
not just 2D.
You could
could
sling.
move 3D.
If you Spider Man, you could web sling and stick to walls. If you Iron Man, you could literally propel yourself.
No, that was
It was
yo,
it was fun. It was fun.
You unlock a suppressed memory that it should have even been suppressed. I love
and
that.
then they
game.
had a whole new set of characters that was like made villains for that.
And then they
game.
never came back
Nah, I
It
don't
was
know why they
because it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't
it was
good. Even
It
a
was
lot
good.
of times,
It was entertaining.
companies would fail. A lot of
It
people
was
didn't know how to
entertaining.
capitalize. I think back in the days, like with certain companies, there was a lot of companies that could have capitalized off the stuff they came out with.
Well, the,
That didn't, like-
listen. I played every single Marvel game. Not every single Marvel game, but I played most Marvel games that came out for Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Yo, trust me, you played this, bro.
I played it. I
that's-
played it when it first came
Remember
out.
the X Men games for Super Nintendo? Those was pretty dope.
I'm not
too.
gonna lie, I'm
Yeah.
not confession.
The X-Men.
I wasn't
Spider-Man.
I wasn't a Nintendo person growing up. I was on the Sony side, the PlayStation. The first game system I ever played was Sega. My uncles had Sega and shit, and then from there immediately the next year or two, I think PlayStation 1 came out, and it was like 9-7, 9-8.
See, up to PlayStation 2.
Probably not
I
6.
think PlayStation 2 is where I like started favoring PlayStation. But before that, like I was
No, I remember. You know, it's
I
funny.
played
You was
everything.
like one of the, and then in my old childhood building I used to live in, one of my childhood friends, they was big on GameCubes and some shit. But besides you and them, y'all was the only people that I knew that was heavy on. That was your lane. I ain't gonna lie, y'all was definitely
not all dudes. You know what made GameCube my lane? Smash Brothers.
the game Smash Bros.
Well, they had
Come on, shout
the
out to
beat 'em up X-Men
Dilly
game.
Dilly to Smash.
Dilly to Smash, my nigga. Cause
Smash is a whole different. Yo, bring fucking Waluigi, bro.
yo,
They.
I don't even understand the hype. But
You,
yeah,
know,
I guess
you know
I
I'll kill you in the new shit, right?
No, you
All right,
not.
Babe,
We're
I'll
getting.
kill him in
I
the new
have
shit.
it in my house.
We have it here. No, you
All right,
don't.
but you don't even have the plug. So don't even talk shit. You don't got the
What
plug. You don't
plug?
got a fucking extra
I got the-
controller.
I got the-
You don't have
I have
anything. You don't have
controllers.
anything. Pack it up.
I'm gonna tell you what I got.
I have
You know what I got?
everything you
Nothing.
I got the adapter
You got
that
nothing.
you can plug
You
the.
do nothing.
Let me tell you.
You got
GameCube
nothing.
controllers.
I got the adapter that you can plug GameCube controllers into the Switch,
I have
right?
that.
All right, but do you have the plug
I have 4 brand new GameCube controllers.
with no plug?
What
What
plug?
plug?
I played the game. We played the game with 4 game controllers. The way you should
Last
do it.
week, last
Oh,
week
so-
I was here.
No,
I asked you
no,
for.
no,
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 I couldn't
JJ,
find it, I
Yo,
told you.
JJ, listen.
I couldn't
All right,
find
look,
it.
Listen,
She has
podcast.
all her plugs and stuff here.
Before we leave, I'm gonna smoke these two niggas.
You're not. You're not actually.
All right, look.
She's gonna jump in there too and give you some work too.
I'm gonna smoke these niggas.
Wait, you what? You don't have it?
No.
It's not here.
No.
What?
My Switch is here.
But the game didn't you buy digitally? Well, that was one of the ones you bought physically. It might be here, babe.
And, okay.
All dudes, it might be here, honestly. But it might not. That's all cool. But just know, we have it. And we have the thing with the ports and all that. So any day of the week.
Look, just know, I don't give a shit. The point is this. What were we talking about?
You talking about games? You said you played every game. And then
Yeah, I
we
played
played that game.
everyone.
You talking about Sony and then...
The best one on Super Nintendo is the X-Men game for Super Nintendo.
Wolverine used to climb the walls.
Yeah, that one was the best one. Not that fucking trash LJN X-Men featuring Spider-Man. That was fucking
No, that was
garbage.
All right.
That made
I got
me
a question
suck.
for you
Spider-Man
after you say
Maximum
that.
Carnage.
That was
amazing.
a great one. And the Punisher
Spider-Man
game for
PS2.
arcade.
Who?
Yeah, PS2 Spider-Man
Part two,
Part
when
1,
you
Part
could
2. I
read-
told
when
Prob
you
that
could-
last... One of the
That
first
was the
videos.
You could
first
touch the
time.
floor and
That's
shit.
exactly
That was
what
the-
I said.
that was the
I
first time I
couldn't
ever
stress that
played in your
enough.
house.
They seen it.
I played that game, the Spider-Man the movie game. That was the first time I played it. It was in your house when we were kids.
I had it for the
I got a
GameCube.
question for y'all now.
Yeah, that's where I
I
played.
got an interesting one. Oh, that's the one that's non-canon. That's all of the villains.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ultimate
yeah, yeah.
Spider-Man.
They
was
had the
really good.
rhino and all that.
That's
shit.
the one that I didn't like. That's the one I bought and I was so upset with. Oh man.
And then you did the code where you could be Mary Jane.
I did. You could be
That's
Green
different.
Goblin.
Yeah.
Look, Sorry. All right. If y'all can make a video game nowadays, and it's a 2-part question because I want to know your answer. If y'all can make any video game of a superhero character, or if y'all wanted to make y'all should a team up, if y'all can make any superhero related content video game, who would it be in that game, and what style would it be based like?
Easy. I got this one already. Easy. All for it.
All right, go first then.
Marvel versus Capcom.
I don't even know mine's.
Marvel versus Capcom based, but instead of Capcom, Marvel versus DC.
But feeling like Marvel vs. Capcom, feeling like the old like part 2 or feeling like part 3?
Part 2.
All right, part 2 for
Definitely
sure.
part 2.
So you want to take people
2D,
back? You want to take people back and
you could do this. You could do the characters looking more CGI and shit like that. But I definitely want the 2D, and I want that exact game speed, like not Street Fighter pace, not exact Marvel versus Capcom 2 game speed or Dragon Ball Z Fighters speed, because that is they kind of
Guilty Gear type shit.
Yeah, exactly. That somewhere down that lane.
With
You feel
Guilty
me?
Gear
Like,
art style.
I like that. Is the Injustice Online game, right? The free shit. Is
yeah,
it?
when you make your own
Is
character?
it free roam also though, or like
Yes.
like OD free roam?
OD free.
Yeah, Injustice Online. What are you talking about?
When you make your
The
own
game,
character,
bro, you never played that game?
you
That's
make your
like
own
a big deal.
superhero, then you pick your mentor. You could be a villain.
Yeah.
or
And DC Comics Online. DC.
DC
Yeah,
Universe.
it's like
DC
OD.
Universe.
Like and it's so OD. They made
And I
that shit
played
free.
it.
Like they made it free.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I
how
played
good
it. It was really good.
I mean my character, but I just never got like in tune with it.
It's free, but there's a swindle. Like if you want certain shit,
Of course,
you gotta pay
that,
for
but
it.
that's the
Like,
catch. That's like that's like
everything.
Fortnite and everything.
Yeah.
They was on that actually first that wave, but all right. So I like that. I would like to take what you said, but add a twist to it because that's genuinely what I would actually if y'all give me the free will to do any game. I want Marvel versus DC universe, but make it like a crack in the multiverse. That's why they both in it. That's the storyline, and I want it to be free roam as if Amazing Spider-Man game. I mean, like the Spider-Man PS4 game was.
So you wanted like Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse?
Yeah, like the way you can
something like
explore on
wow,
your own.
you read my mind.
And then
Tenkaichi,
exactly. Like
like-
you can choose your own. Like I'm gonna be this character now, and then he got a whole different storyline. I can explore
something like
missions.
Warriors, like when two characters join together, the screen
Nah, but
is
see-
together, and when they go
Oh no,
further
of
enough,
course,
it
no,
goes split
no.
screen.
Of course, all of that will play into like
You feel me?
bugs and people making shit better. But I mean, like just the groundwork for it. I want it to be like that. You can
So you would like
switch
the
characters.
Bandai Namco style.
Yeah, because I want it to be a open world, but I also want it to feel like.
So you
Like,
want
yo,
an
it's so
arena
much
fighter,
storyline.
an arena fighter.
I want it to feel
Well,
like
like,
Grand Theft in a way.
I don't know the
but-
name of any
but
of them, but have you
superhero
ever
Grand
played any
Theft.
of like the Godzilla fighting games where you could roam around the city and literally destroy the city
God-
as you fight?
the
Shit like that, you feel me? Like the old
Destroy
Superman
All
game
Monsters.
or-
Yeah, it's like games like
Godzilla.
that. Like yeah, I know.
I
what
want it
you're
to be
saying.
enough storylines that it's gonna be weeks, not just hours, like short ass amount of hours. That you got to beat this shit in over a weekend. No, I want you to be able to beat this game the minimum, probably in if you like the superest game ever, non-stop playing like a month. Like you feel me? Like anything's possible. You know they did
I don't know about that.
like Grand Theft Auto. Like you feel me? You can always just keep.
playing.
You
and
don't have to put it in all at once. You can keep DLC in it. DLC in it. But I wanted to feel like the way Amazing Spider-Man did. I mean, PS4. I keep saying Amazing Spider-Man. PS4 Spider-Man. The way my son was able to. It felt like a Grand Theft Auto game, but for a superhero. I don't know why. I just felt like so detailed, so much you can do. Even on not doing mission, you could just roam around the city and come across stuff, or then do side missions or other little missions. And
Remember, you know what game was amazing as far as free roam wise? Remember that Hulk game for the P2? You can
oh
literally
yeah,
trash
no, that was
You can
around the
literally-
time when we went out with and took that picture for the dudes for your birthday. That was around that time.
Yo, you can literally walk up to civilians, smash them, you could kill them, grab them,
Yeah.
Throw them mad
run
far.
up to roof
Nah, this
with
game
them,
was reckless.
like
babes.
regular civilians.
And then
like
you can
it's
do the
Grand Theft as Hulk.
And you can do the shit from the movie. You can grab a car and break it in half and use
And
them
make
as
the gloves.
boxing gloves.
Yeah.
And be
Yo,
hitting.
that game
That
was
was-
mad fun to roam around and just play.
So what would you choose?
I would want to do Marvel versus Disney. You have Iron Man fighting Buzz Lightyear.
And Donald Duck and
Donald-
shit like that. And
Donald
it would be
Duck.
the way Kingdom Hearts is in a way, but more.
No, I would want it like a
Oh.
Marvel Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3, like the one nobody
Oh.
liked,
I like that one.
but with Disney characters.
Is that the one you can use the Power Stone and stuff like that in?
Yeah,
All right, that's the one I got.
I would like that, but you would have Goofy.
that one wasn't that bad.
Donald
It wasn't.
Duck.
I mean, she likes it, but don't like it, right? Because the Marvel game that I downloaded that we been picking Thanos and Ultron and shit.
Yeah,
with the
that shit was
stones.
trash.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but for a Marvel
My
game,
biggest takeaway is that
It's
They
missing
put-
something. That's all
No,
it is.
my-
But it's good though.
I like that they
playing.
added the stones, but it's also trash that they took away your third character. Like you can't switch. them. Like, you
Oh,
only
I
play
didn't even
with-
notice
Yeah,
that. Wow.
it was really
That's crazy.
bad.
I didn't even notice that. But, that's,
But I
they
feel
did
like
then.
it would have been not that whole fighting system was fine, but not for Marvel vs.
I like-
Capcom game.
I like your choice, honestly. Marvel
you get-
versus Disney.
You
That's
get
like
Disney,
you can even do it in Universal Studios or something like
Yeah,
that. Make it seem like that's where it happened. That right, like
you could get Shuma Gorath versus Simba or
so
Scar.
octopus versus a lion, and
Yeah.
it makes sense though.
Or Ursula.
Ursula
Or
versus
the octopus.
well, who would even be the bad guy of that, like the big bad guy?
It wouldn't
And
have
what-
to
and-
be.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's about that time. Assemble and talk. No cap. It's a civil war. You thinking you worthy. You feeling like door. Smash that light, burn like Hulk, yeah.